So what we have here is Gran Turismo 5 save game. I'm just going to show you basically the features. I already done one take. I missed bits out. So DLC cars. Now you can buy any DLC car that was bought that you. Well, we'll go to a different manufacturer. Who else has a DLC car? Dodge has one. I can buy that now. So this will be unlocked on your save game if you put this on your machine. There's been new paints added, a lot of paints, including the DLC paints, all the DLC paints. And when you go in here, there's a heap of other stuff's been added. It's really, so the thing with these are, right, obviously like weight reduction, once you do it you can't undo it, but it's pretty much the same thing with these. The stage 4 and 5 engine tune, if you go, it kind of piled them together when I stuck them in there. I messed around a bit to get it this neat, but anyways, there's a racing catalytic converter as well. There's a triple plate clutch. Oh yeah, dummy. Stage 4 and 5 turbo. What else have we got? Yeah, there's the stage 3 clutch and flywheel, racing flywheel as well. There's a bunch of paints, brakes. There's more brakes now too. Not every car will let you put the brakes on there. Some will, some won't. It just depends on the car which ones it'll let you put on there. This one won't let me put any on it. What have I got? The V12 Vantage. Okay, these here. Be careful messing around with these. Those three there, I can't seem to get any kind of change out of them. I just can't seem to get any difference. But the nitro ones will give you like thousands, tens of thousands of horsepower more. It will give you so much horsepower that the car will be undrivable. But I thought I'll throw them in there anyway for you to mess around with. Once you put that on your car, you can't take it off, alright? So be warned. You'll have to reload the whole save game to get that car back. Also in tyres, I put it under special tyres. Now you've got the V's and the C's. I can't remember which one's which. One's for sideways grip, one's for forward grip. And it's got, yeah, super softs now as well. I think that was it for that. Yeah. And now we've got a bunch of paints, like a bunch of paints. So you go, as you can see what's going on here. Okay, alright, let's waste enough time on that. I don't want this video to go forever, okay, so I'm just going to try and... okay, so the cars you can't buy in the dealership I put in here, which are these, just for the fun of it. The Joey Logano and SS Camaro Edge, like the Edge Camaro SS, they're from a limited, was it collector edition or something? I think it was when it came out. Yeah, it was a pre-order edition or something. So yeah, these cars you couldn't put in the dealership. I put them in here instead. Yeah, so it's got all the stealth models, all the chrome lines. Red Bulls you can't normally get. And these are the GT Academy cars. There's just one of each. Like, yeah, I didn't want to overfill the damn thing. But the main reason I built all this was for my hybrids, and I put them in standard car tab. I thought about putting them all in premium, but when I first started, it's a long story. I put them all in standard. Okay, these here, as you see, it looks like Celsonic Skyline, but it says Bluebird Road Car. It's the Bluebird race car, the old rally car, and that's the 240 RS rally car. But see how it says 4-wheel drive? That's why I use the Celsonic as a base. Then I put all the parts from the other cars on them, and then change the bodies to the road version of those cars. because I personally always like to do up road cars, but the problem was partially this, the aerodynamics, which now you can fully mess with. Yeah, and so the problem was with a road car, I had no problem matching their speed. The problem was doing as many laps out of a set of tires, or on the long, continuous, high-speed corners. You'd never be able to keep up on those particular kinds of corners. So with a race car, yeah, now you can do endurance races with your road car. I know it might sound stupid, but anyways, maybe that's what you like. That's what I like. That's actually the Escudo now with the Pajero body on it and a V8 put in it. I was trying to go for sound and power, but I ended up just putting a stock car engine in it, which sounds weird with the sound of the dirt, but you can get a lot of power out of it now, like 1300 or something, which is, you know, on par with what the Escudo was putting out. I just didn't want it to be the standard V6 out of the Suzuki. Yeah, so that's got a base off a Nomad Diablo on it because Ferrari don't have their own race car. Another thing is too, now you can weight reduce them ridiculously and get like over 1,000 horsepower out of most of these cars now, pretty easy. Except for the smaller ones, some of the smaller cars won't do it. The Plymouth Superbird is actually now basically a modern stock car. I put the Challenger, it was the only thing with a long enough wheelbase, the race version of the Dodge Challenger on it, like their chassis, and put I think it was a stock car engine I put in it, but I made sure it was out of a Chevy because Plymouth apparently use Chevy parts. I don't know. I had to have a look at that because I'm Australian. We don't have that stuff over here everywhere. Yeah, I always loved this car, but didn't really like the race version for some reason. So I, did what I did with the other cars. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So there's nearly 50 hybrids in here. That's, for example, the Camaro 95, I think 98 sort of model Camaro race car. Now it's got the engine out of that and the chassis in there, but the rest of it's all IROC. That's what I've done with most of these. I've kept them with the original. So when you put on the when you're doing your car up, you're still putting all the parts that belong on that car on there. But the chassis have been changed on nearly all of them, and the engines, I tried to keep realistic, something that would really fit in there and came from the same manufacturer. Like, you don't put like a Jay Leno tank car in, say, a little Honda or a Jetta or something like that. Which, speaking of, the S800 Honda, which I turned into an all-wheel drive using the I can't remember what you actually call that now, the dual note. Yeah, so I used the dual note drivetrain, but otherwise it's all Honda S800. That little engine, as you can see, revs to 10.5. So I put that into these. It gets 380, I think 400 might have been actually. The Beetle, as you can see, is actually a yellow bird. I've called it the pink bird. It's got a RUF engine, but I actually ended up changing the yellow bird engine chassis to, I'm pretty sure I changed it to a Chaparral, which is the same as, it's a mid-rear instead of a rear, because the Beetle, once you get over about 300 horsepower, is impossible to drive. Like, it just wheel spun constantly. So I've made it a mid-rear, moved the engine forward a little. That's a Lotus Motorsport with like chassis put under the Lotus Europa. Yeah, just did a lot of that. There's 20B rotaries. I even put a 24B in the RX-7 road car. Just things like that. Just messed around with them. Yeah, that's about that. I'll go out to show you what you want to do. See, then none of these cars will work. The only reason they're working is because I am running to update 2.11. After that, they patched it so you can't use hybrids anymore. So you just go into your game data, as I'm about to do. I'm not going to actually delete it and re-download it because it's just, that would take me a few more hours, and I've been putting this off for months doing this video because my computer keeps crashing every time I try and edit videos properly. So I'm going to have to keep doing it this way, the poor man's way, right? Yeah, so 2.11, that's what you want it on. When you delete them all, it will go back to, what is it, 100 or something? No, I can't remember what it goes back to, but it will have 27 updates to get back to 2.17. But oh shit. Okay, so yeah, so you just go triangle and delete, and if you know you're not already on 2.11, it'll be on 2.17 most likely, and then you go back to here, you check for update, and it'll want update. So that'll be 21 updates, and at number 21, let it download, let it install, and as soon as it starts doing update 22, exit out, and that's all you have to do, and then you'll be on 2.11. Then you'll be able to use all the hybrids and stuff, and yeah. So I'll put the save editors in the description. I'll have to again remember or hunt down the names of the people who created them and thank them for it. Give them credit, sorry. I think that's about it. You're going to have to re-sign them. You always have to re-sign them to save games, to use them for yourself. And that's about it. This is on my friend's machine, by the way, in case you're wondering about the username. But yeah. So that's it. That's everything. Hope you enjoy it.